Hi, this is Lindsay Lohman from Converseon, and I'm having a quick chat with Mike Moran, our Chief Strategist here, about his new book, which is Search Marketing Inc., and it's the second edition. Mike, would you tell us a little something about the book?
Sure, Lindsay. Well, Bill Hunt is my co-author, and we wrote the book back in 2005. And I'm not sure, but I think if it's not the best-selling search marketing book, it's certainly one of them. And the publisher was interested in doing a second edition because so much changes in search marketing in just a few years. And but I think the basics of the book are still the same. It was the first book to really look at how you can apply this with a business-like feel to it. So instead of just saying, here's how you turn the knobs, here's how you throw the switches and all the technical advice, which it's full of, it also explains to you how you know what the impact of that is from a business point of view, so you understand how to project your traffic, how do you know how much your traffic is worth, and how you do that for different businesses, ones that sell online and offline. And the other thing it also does is for larger companies, it helps them understand what the process is. So how do you get everybody to do this? How do you get all the different people that have to make this work? How do you make that happen inside a big organization? So there's both of those elements that a lot of the other books don't have.
When you talk about updating the book for the new changes, what kind of changes do you see in this book that didn't happen in the last one?
We have two new chapters in the book. One of them is on social media, and the other is on website search, because we found that even though neither of those things are themselves search marketing, a lot of the people who are good at search marketing are also good at social media if you just explain it to them. And there's a lot of things in social media that can help your search marketing. Now that Google is doing blended search and a lot of these other companies are doing universal search results, where they're finding more than just web pages, they're finding videos and podcasts and other kinds of things too. Hope they'll find this. And the website search one, a lot of the same things that you do for internet search marketing, if you do those things, the site search on your own website will also be improved. So we put two new chapters in for that. There's also a DVD that's been added to the book that has over 2 hours of video of Bill and I talking about doing presentations. There's also some white papers and podcasts. There's also all sorts of stuff on there that's extra resources. But I think the most important thing is the entire book has been updated throughout. I think that it's really hard to imagine how many things have changed over just a couple of years. I mean, paid search is very different than it was a few years ago, where people are now looking at how they can do demographics, where it's not just Google that's doing click-through rate as part of their ranking algorithm. And there's all sorts of things that have changed in terms of how you get things indexed, now that sitemaps have become prevalent. And if you go chapter by chapter, there's new tools that are being used for keyword research. So just about every chapter has things in it that are different than what came out in the first edition, even though the principles are still the same. If you bought the first edition, you'll still recognize this is the same book, but a lot of the details and a lot of the things that you had to do step by step, some of those have changed.
Awesome. Sounds like a lot of things to look forward to. When you talk about who the book is best used for, what kind of people in the companies do you think are going to have the best use out of the book?
Boy, well, I mean, what we tried to do is we tried to write the book so that each kind of specialist can really get what they needed out of it. So if you're a technologist, it'll really help you understand the business parts of this as well as the things you need to do. And the people on the business side, it's going to help them to understand some of the reasons why you have to do some of these technology things. But I think that it also breaks it down deeper than that. So if you're a web metrics specialist, you understand what the right metrics are for search. If you're a web designer, you understand the kinds of designs that really work better for search and the kinds that won't. If you're an information architect, it'll help you understand what kinds of navigations or things that are better or worse for search. I mean, so I guess the target market is anyone with a neck. I think that's really what we're going for. Is that it really, if you have a website, you need to be doing this stuff. And so anybody who's involved at all in websites, even if you're the product manager, you have to figure out what the keywords are. All the people that are involved and benefit from having a website, they need to figure out how they can do this to make the benefits of the website even greater.
You've talked some about echoing the importance of search. Are there any particular points that you think just bring home why search is so important to companies?
I think that the thing that people overlook a lot of the time is they spend a lot of time focused on what it is that that pundits talk about. So they talk about getting high rankings, they talk about what keywords to use, and all those kinds of things are important, but they're tactics. And I think that the thing people gloss over is that search marketing is more about marketing than search. You really need to understand the marketing aspects of this, and much more than you need to understand the search pieces. The search pieces are important. You need to know them to execute what you're doing. But if you already understand marketing and you understand, for example, how to target segments of the market, well, what you really need to understand is choosing your keywords is how you choose your target segments. You're really segmenting people based on what they're typing in. And that's really important. And if you understand direct marketing and you know the idea of really changing what you're doing based on response rates, well, how many people click on your paid search ad? That's a response rate. How many people buy your product after they've searched for you and come to your site? That's a response rate. And so a lot of things people already understand about marketing are things that they just need to know how to translate into how to do search marketing. And that's what we try and do in the book.
What do you think the future of search marketing is?
I think it's over. Go back to your lives, citizens. We're done. No, to me, there's a few big things that are happening. I think one of the things is search is becoming much more integrated into all the rest of marketing. I think people aren't looking at it as some kind of specialty anymore. It's the kind of thing where they want to understand how it integrates with television, how it integrates with social media, how it integrates with any of the other kinds of marketing that companies do. I remember talking to Imran Khan, who was he's the chief marketing officer at eLoan, and they actually figure out that when you type in a search term that has the word eLoan in it, they credit that to TV because they figure that that's from their TV advertising. But if you type in a search term that doesn't have eLoan in it, they credit that to search. And I think there's a lot more of that kind of really nuanced thinking going on of who gets the credit and how do you do your investment. So I think the integration is one of the big things. I think the other big thing is pervasiveness. I think it's expanding globally at an incredibly rapid rate. And I think that as you start seeing people walk around with these small devices, whether they're phones or laptops that are connected all the time, you're starting to see search happening in more and more places. It's starting to become not just geo-targeted based on where you're residing, but geo-targeted based on where you're standing. And so I think those kinds of things are really changing rapidly. And I think personalization is another big one. I think that more and more you're going to see different people getting different results. And I think that that's a really interesting thing for marketers. I think it might help us stem the tide of spam, because it's much harder to spam when you have many more factors that are operating. And I think it's also going to help us by really, really targeting who we're going after, not just by search term, but by who they are. And that's really when marketers get to shine, when they really start to use all the skills that they know from demographics, or in B2B from firmographics of who the company is and what industry they're in. Once they start to be able to use those kinds of things for search, I think you're going to see a whole new golden age of search where there's many more places to find value in search marketing. That's what I think is coming.
Now that you're a part of the Converseon team, how do you see search marketing affecting your day-to-day role as Chief Strategist?
Well, I think one of the reasons I was excited about joining Converseon is that they do a lot of cool things. They do a lot of things I'm interested in. So even though we're talking today about the book that Bill and I wrote on search marketing, I have another book called Do It Wrong Quickly that's about internet marketing, and that talks about all the things that I get to work on here at Converseon, whether it's reputation monitoring or social media marketing or search marketing. And so all those kinds of things that really help a business understand what their return on investment is, but also that helps them understand organizationally what kind of changes they need to make and to really have their company adapt to the internet. Those are the kinds of things that Converseon really sees as being its role. And so that's one of the reasons I was really enjoying my time here so far. And it's fun to work with all these clients that are so excited about what they can get done on the internet and how they can really transform their business. So it's been a great thing for me, and I'm looking forward to a lot more of it.
Well, thanks so much for your time today, Mike, and we hope everyone will go out and pick up a copy of his book, which once again is Search Engine Marketing Inc., the second edition.
Thanks, Lynn.